What's up, family? Coming at you today about a topic I've talked about before, but I want to mention it in a different light, which is, what to do after you've lost the weight, or what to do when you're in a weight loss diet and you know, you're unable to like lose any more weight. You've kind of hit a plateau, so to speak. You haven't reached your goals, but like everything you're doing is no longer working. The things that were creating weight loss before aren't doing it anymore. So, having been through this myself, I have implemented what's called a reverse diet and or a diet break. This is you got to imagine that people are like, "Oh, I have a slow metabolism, fast metabolism," but the fact is that when you go from eating however you want to going into a hardcore fat loss diet, and you start cutting your calories a whole bunch, and then possibly you add in cardio, your metabolism adapts to that change. And so eventually what was a calorie deficit is no longer a deficit anymore. So now here you are pounding away, you're basically starving, you're doing as much cardio as you can possibly do, or you've cut all the calories you can cut, and yet weight loss isn't occurring anymore, and you still haven't reached your goals. Or you've reached your goals and you're like, how do I make sure I don't put the weight back on? So this is where a reverse diet comes in. So since your metabolism has adapted to this deficit, meaning you're no longer in a deficit anymore. What was a deficit is now your maintenance. Where do I go from here? If you've hit your goal and you want to go back to, eating more normally, that you can't just go back to eating your old maintenance. If you do that, you'll put the fat right back on. So you do what's called a reverse diet. And this is where I'm just going to give you some examples. So let's say, you were at a maintenance of, 3,000 calories. You've been out through this huge, fat loss diet. You've lost a ton of weight. You've dieted down all the way till you're eating, say, 1,500 calories. You weren't doing any cardio, and now you've gotten to where you're doing an hour a day, and you're doing an hour a day. You're only eating 1,500 calories. You're starving, and there's no weight loss. And you're like, let's say you've hit your goal, and now you just want to go. What I do afterwards? What I do from here? So the answer is a reverse diet. This is where over the course of 8 to 12 weeks, you slowly add back, 100, well, say, if you've cut it this deep, you want to add back maybe say like 200 calories a week to your daily, so 1,500 becomes 1,700. Your hour of cardio becomes 50 minutes. You slowly cut it back. Each week you cut the cardio a little bit and you add to the diet. And if you were only doing the diet, then you just add to the diet a little bit week over week over week. Slowly monitoring your weight. Your weight should stay fairly steady. You may put on a little, a couple of pounds of fat over the whole course of this thing. And just like when you were fat loss dieting, remember that, water retention, inflammation, all these things can come up and they can make you fluctuate. But as long as you're taking the data and it's showing that, you're staying pretty much steady, you just continue to add back the calories and reduce the cardio till you get back to at or near your old maintenance. You'll probably be slightly less than your old maintenance because now there's less of your body in order to be maintained. So your old maintenance may not be as applicable. It'll be, a couple hundred calories less than what it used to be. Now, if you've lost the weight, you've gotten where you want, so you just reverse diet back to a more comfortable maintenance and an amount of cardio that you want to do each week, just because cardio is healthy. Now, if you're taking a diet break or you haven't reached your goals quite yet, but you were stuck, you want to do the same thing. You want to take the reverse diet. You put yourself back toward a maintenance over a course of 6 to 12 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks, right in there. Slowly adding back the calories, reducing the cardio. And if you haven't reached your goals yet, bam, you do the diet process all over again. You start cutting your calories from your diet and you start increasing the cardio, creating a caloric deficit again. So suddenly, wham, weight's coming off again and you're eating many more calories than you were just 8 or 12 weeks ago and having no results. It's by restoring your metabolism through reverse dieting, through taking a break and letting your body be restored from the diet fatigue that has, compounded over the time of your whole diet. And by your metabolism actually, adapting to becoming what your new maintenance was. So this is like bringing your maintenance back to where it used to be, slowly over the period of time. Just like you crashed it into that place by doing hardcore dieting over the course of 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, however long you were dieting for. You brought your metabolism to the place where it was. So now you take some time to reverse it back out, but you're doing it in a slow manner so that you're not putting the weight back on. Then once you reach happy maintenance again, bam, you hit it with, if you're ready to, if you still have weight loss goals, you start the diet process over. You get yourself in a deficit. You reduce the food, you crank up the cardio, and then you continue to push that up until once again you hit another plateau where you cannot break through. If you've reached your goals, you do your reverse diet and go back to a normal, healthy eating lifestyle. Hopefully through the course of dieting, instead of doing a crash diet, you have learned some healthy eating habits and how to enjoy healthy whole foods. And you can just return to eating a little bit more of them. And then maybe every once in a while throwing in a treat meal in moderation or a food item here and there that's outside of a clean eating. But that's the simple, what do I do now that I've lost the weight? Or if I've hit a wall in my weight loss diet before I reach my goal, how do I continue with weight loss? So the answer is take a diet break, reverse diet, and either in there, if you've reached your goals, or if you have not reached your goals, you reverse diet into another dieting phase again. And then you just do that as many times until you reach your weight loss goals. It's very simple. And then you also, I always recommend like strength training along with that, because, the more muscle mass you have, the more it's going to burn calories, and the easier it's going to be to stay lean, the easier it's going to be to have a higher metabolism and to get to enjoy a little bit more, of these healthy foods that you've come to find. So anyway, I have dieted and reverse dieted so many times I've even lost count, but it absolutely works because your metabolism, if it's healthy, it will adapt to the change, and then you push it back to an old maintenance, and then you can actually, ramp it back down by dieting again. It will adapt to the change, and then you slowly take it back to where it was, and it will adapt to that change as well. So give me a like, give me a follow. If you want me to set up a diet plan, or if you want personal training, always reach out. I've got you. It's the holiday season. I'm running holiday specials, so the lowest prices of the whole year, and let me help you help me help you. I love you guys. Thanks for watching.